welcome to the Mitzvah Party Podcast. We talk about anything and everything that has to do with mitzvah parties, where we celebrate and celebrate and celebrate. My name is Clint Huft, and this is episode number 9, recorded on Wednesday, May the 9th. How about that? 9th episode on the 9th of May, 2018. With me is the expert, the man who actually, he is the straw that serves the drink when it comes to mitzvah parties, the one and only Gil Zuniga.
Love it. Love it. Hi, how you doing?
Oh, my life is fantastic. Thank you.
That's great. You say the same thing all the time, and you just must live a charmed life. That's
you don't have to look very far to see how blessed we are.
No, this is true. I guess I can always look at that side of the fence and go, it's fantastic.
Hey, listen, I was fortunate enough to be the officiant at your wedding. Your wife is spectacular. You got 2 great kids. You live in an amazing house. You're very talented. You're very smart. You have a great family. You know, your work is superb. You have a great life, my friend.
It's the other side of the fence. I love it. Yes, absolutely. I agree. I can't argue.
I'm excited about the topic today because you revealed it to me right before I hit the record button. And I'm going to let you explain exactly what we're going to chat about today.
Well, what I was thinking about chatting about today were, what I said was kids. And what I meant were the bar mitzvah young man or the bat mitzvah young lady. Because after this ceremony, they become adults, you know, in the eyes of their world. So kids at parties, the kids themselves, and we can talk about the general kids as well, but there are so many different personalities that we have worked with over the years. And we have, within my circle of people that work with us, we always talk about the kids prior to, or we try to let everybody know what the kid's like, what he's into, or what it's going to be like. Because sometimes you have kids who, not very often, luckily, that just want to sit in the corner. Okay, I can count on one hand how many times that's happened, but it's happened. Where the kids don't want the spotlight, they just want to sit in the corner, they just want to not be in the middle of things, they don't like to dance. It's like, oh my God. And you know this going into it because 99% of the time the parents will tell you. They will say, you know, he's not in, he doesn't like to dance, she doesn't, and very rarely, I think it's only happened once where we had a bat mitzvah girl who didn't like to dance. She didn't want, oh God, it just dropped on me. There was a girl one time that didn't want dancing at her party.
No dancing?
She didn't want dancing. I remember this now. This just came back to me. She didn't want dancing at her party. And the mom was like, you have to have dancing. We have to do a hora. You have to. So she had another room set aside where there was no dancing and no music so that she could do things over there with her friends. I remember this. This is probably about 10, 12 years ago. And I remember doing the event thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to, but luckily there were plenty of kids who did want to dance, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, and there were plenty of adults that did want to dance, but that was the most, now that I think of it, that was the most difficult event because other kids, boys mainly, who don't like to dance, they'll sit in the corner or they'll play foosball because the parents know and they'll have other activities for them. And then you cross your fingers that they have friends or at least some girls that'll be there, that'll dance on the dance floor. And then your adults, you're hoping that the adults will dance as well. But some kids are just like that. Now, the other end of the spectrum is the kids who will not get off the dance floor.
That's a bad thing?
No, those are the kids you love.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, it's the other end. That's the other side. It's the kid you love that just want to be on the floor, want to dance. A lot of times it's theater kids. Like theater
you mentioned that in a previous episode that the theater kids
are the best. The best because their friends are theater kids and they just want to be out there. They're extroverts. They want to dance. They want to put their arms up. They want to do this. They want to do that. They want to sing show tunes. They want to sing music from whatever show is out there, Hamilton or what was it? I can't. God, all of a sudden, all these Wicked and all these shows when they first come out, these kids just want to hear those songs and sing, and they have a great time with it, and it's great for us because they're just involved, and the adults sit there and watch them and think the most wonderful thing. I remember when Let It Go came out, when the Disney movie came out, these little girls had just come out probably a month or two before, but there was these two little girls got up on stage and we played the song and they sang and they just completely acted the songs out. And they must have been about 9 and 12, right around there. There's two of them, and everything just stopped to watch these two little girls do that. And it was amazing. It was like, and they knew every word, and they were putting their arms, they were just singing this thing out. It was amazing.
I remember when that movie came out. I remember when on the YouTube videos of all the kids that knew it like immediately before I was even aware. I was aware of the movie, but it was still in the theaters, and I didn't realize it was like such a big thing. Then my son is in elementary school, and they do like a movie where they project a movie on the handball thingy, and everybody gathers around outside, and it's a beautiful Friday evening, and it's frozen. And I said to my wife, I said, we got to go because all those little girls are going to start singing.
Oh my!
Gosh!
Incredible. Yeah, it was incredible. It was amazing, and they do that. When Hamilton came out, and these girls, play this, play that from Hamilton, play this song, play that song, and they would sing and they would dance, and you could still to this day play something from Hairspray, and the girls will go crazy. Yeah. High School Musical. Oh my God, High School Musical was just going crazy, and you can still do that to this day with that crowd, and they go nuts and they sing and they dance and. Those are the best. But by the most part, kids will dance. They like to dance. They'll go out. Bat mitzvahs obviously are better than bar mitzvahs.
Okay, now wait. In that situation where there's a couple of kids that are just performing, now in my head, everything comes to a complete halt in regards to the energy of the party. And maybe not. You'll correct me if I'm wrong. But then you've got a performance, and then now you've got that challenge of what do I do next? You know what I mean? How do you handle that?
Well, you just play a killer dance song.
Well, there you go.
But you do pay attention to the kids, and you draw the spotlight on them, and everyone loves it. Everyone, by the most part, everybody just loves that. It's just amazing, and no one can believe it. And boom, you pop in another song that just gets the kids up and going. Or if you want to dance the adults, because the kids are. You've had them on for a long time, and now it's time to, something that they both will like. You just drive it in and go, bam, here we go. Let's keep going with the energy. Yeah, because energy, the kids just you just feed off their energy. You feed off the energy in the room, the kids and the adults. But these kids that are like that love to dance, that love to have the spotlight on them, all of them, or they'll do anything. You can do the chicken dance, you can do the hokey pokey, and they'll do it. Not that we do the hokey pokey unless we got.
Oh, come on, don't diss the hokey pokey.
No, my gosh. Right, and so
wait, I want to go back to the kid that doesn't. I want to. You started with that, and I think that's fascinating. So, okay, so you've got. Whatever is the actual scenario, whether there's another room where the kid wants to hang out with the other kids that don't want to dance or whatever, but you've got the rest of the room to deal with. So I guess that once the hora is done, the kind of the obligatory thing where that is done, and then the kid removes themselves from the party, you're still kind of have the responsibility of keeping the energy in the room. Is there a big difference? Is it like, is there a loss? Do people feel like there's an empty hole, or does everybody else who wants to dance just make up for it?
Well, every once in a while you have a kid that doesn't want to dance, and kids that are, too cool to dance because they've seen it all. And a lot of times their parents are kind of the same. And so all you can do is sit on your hands and do the best you can. And there is, very little energy in the room. And that's really, and thank goodness, those are few and far between events where you just, I've had parents say to me, can you go into the bathroom? Because all the kids are in the bathroom. And I've got some adults on the dance floor. And my first thought is, you didn't pay me to do that.
Yeah, you're the parent. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you paid me to do this. And I said, you know what? I have to. And I remember saying this to the mom. I think the first time I did go into the bathroom and I said, guys, come on, let's go. Let's get back to the desk. But then she asked me to do it again. That's when I said to her, you know what? I have to work with what I have here. I can't be going inside the bathroom getting these kids. I said, I'm sorry. I said, you hired me to entertain. And if they want to go in the bathroom, I'm doing the best I can with what I have here. And I remember saying that to her, and she went, you're right. Just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, luckily, she wasn't a nightmare.
Yeah, you're not the bathroom monitor. What the heck?
Right. So you do the best you can with what the hand that you've been dealt and the crowd that you have.
Although I do understand a little bit, to cut the mom a little bit of slack, I understand because you've developed this rapport. And so I can see where she thinks you would be more effective in terms of getting the guys out of the bathroom.
And I did it the first time. I remember doing it the first time and saying, and you always have to check in with the kid. You always have to check in with the bar mitzvah. You always, what do you want to do? Are you okay? Are you cool? Is everything all right? You're always asking that. Do you want to keep dancing or do you want to do a game? What would you like to do? Do you want to do a line dance? So you're checking in with them constantly. And then they will also, when they're, extroverts, when they're really hyped and they're into it, you don't even need to check it with them because they'll walk up to you and say, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And sometimes, most of the time, you're like, let's do it, let's go, bam, let's go. But sometimes if you're in the middle of something or you have something else planned and you can't do that, you have to explain to them, okay, we'll do that after the montage or we'll do that after the candle lighting. Absolutely. That'll be a great thing to do. So you keep positive with them and you tell them why you can't do that right this minute. Because most of the time they'll ask for stuff, boom, you give it to them, especially them when they're asking.
Even if it doesn't fit the rhythm of the party? I mean, like.
If it doesn't fit, that's what I'm saying. If it doesn't fit, then you explain to them why. So we'll get to that. We're going to do a set. We're right in the middle of an adult set. So we're about to get out of this and then we'll go into the kids set and we'll open up with that song. No problem. You know what I mean? So, and then you've got other kids that, by the most part, we don't advertise that we take requests. Kids that are really polite will come up and say, hey, do you take requests? You know what I mean? Other kids will go, hey, play this. Hey, play that. Do you have this? Do you have that? Play this off my phone. It's like, no.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, we're not playing stuff off your phone. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is on YouTube. Play this. It's like, no, we're not doing that. No, we can't do that.
That's the world, though. That's the world we live in now.
Oh, it's totally the world we live in because it's it's like we play radio edits and we promote that with our clients. And you're not going to what you hear on the radio is what we're going to play for the kids' music. And I've had parents who will say, don't play this song because it says the word bitch in it. It's like, well, it's on the radio. Okay, I won't play it. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Remember that song years ago? I remember.
There's more than one, Gil.
I remember a dad walking up to me, and we had suggested to play Pretty Woman as the grand entrance song for the girl.
Yeah.
And the dad walked up to me and he said, no, you can't play that song for her grand entrance. That's about a hooker.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is it?
No. And I just tried to politely explain to him that the song was used in a movie called Pretty Woman, right?
Right.
Right? Remember the movie? But the song was not written for that movie. It was written long before. It was just used. I said, it'll be fine. No one's going to think your daughter's a hooker. Now, those words didn't come out of my mouth, but I thought them. I
know that we're focusing on the kids, but the parents sometimes get hypersensitive. I mean, I provide music for this dance studio, and they have a recital once a year. And I kid you not, any word that is even close to like ass or whatever, they ask me to edit it out of the song.
Oh my goodness,
man! And it's always apologetic because they're just afraid that the parents are going to freak out. And I have a theory about that. I think the parents don't freak out because they think something's weird or inappropriate. They freak out because they think their friends are going to freak out. And it becomes this whole mob mentality kind of a thing. Like, we're supposed to be freaked out, aren't we?
But it's the world we live in. The world we live in, these kids know these words. It's not like you're not going to shelter. You can't create a bubble around your children that's going to keep them, especially now.
You walk into a middle school, and those kids are talking like sailors. That's where they live.
and in front of adults and everything, but you get them around their friends, it's a whole different language.
I give them a lot of credit that they can kind of monitor themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you ever had a heckler, like a kid that comes up and really like gives you bad attitude because he's not getting what he wants? And he's not the bar mitzvah kid. He's just one of the kids that were invited, but all of a sudden he takes it upon himself to be the heckler.
Yeah, I can think of 3 incidences that in my career where I wanted to smack the hell out of somebody. And this is early on. This hasn't happened in recent years, but early on, I had a kid, and it was at the most lavish event. I mean, they must have spent so much money on this event. And I was DJing and I was emceeing, and this kid was pretty much heckling me and throwing things at me.
Things at you? No.
Yeah, he was throwing stuff at me. So I literally, and this is many years ago. Many years ago. I literally walked up. He was sitting in the chair. I straddled him and I bent over into his face and I said, you throw one more thing at me and you're going to regret it. And he just looked at me because I threatened him. I was much younger then.
Well, wait, did you have any idea what you're going to regret it actually meant?
No, I just was hoping to God that he would get the message and not throw something at me again.
Yeah.
But he didn't throw anything at me again. That happened one time. One kid was why do they like throwing stuff at me and bugging? He was just bugging. And I walked over, and I shouldn't have done this, but this is like 15 years ago. I walked over and I poked him in the chest with my finger. And I went, someone could get hurt if you keep throwing stuff at them. And he had the best response. He put his hand where I poked him. He goes, someone already got hurt. I said, well, quit throwing stuff. All right? Quit throwing stuff.
Did that end it?
Yeah. He didn't thrust anything else.
Where are the parents?
I don't know. And I've walked up and I've lost my cool. 10-year-olds made me lose my cool. I did a party for all 10-year-olds and I lost my cool with some 10-year-olds. And some dad came up to me at the end of the party. The dad from the party was like, oh man, you were awesome. You were great. These kids were like out of control. There was only a few parents at the whole event.
Oh, okay. That's different.
There wasn't a lot of supervision. And dad came up to me and said, did you do this? Blah, 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 blah. And then the dad from the party walked up and interjected and said, hey, you know what? These kids were atrocious. He said,
oh, the dad that was complaining just got the report after the fact.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yeah. So, and I looked at him. I said, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't say that, which I totally did, but but I couldn't believe it. And this is like, 12, 15 years ago. And I totally, and afterwards I thought, I can't believe this before I had kids too. I said, I can't believe 10-year-olds made me lose my cool. Well, now that I have a 10-year-old, I get it. Because I want to kill my 10-year-old on a daily basis. No, not daily. Maybe.
You know what? You made a good point. It's that moment of awareness, like, what in the world am I doing? Why is that human being getting under my skin? What's the deal?
But
a person who's lived a fraction of my life. What's the deal?
Exactly. And then the other end or the other side is when these kids walk up to you at the end of the party and say, thank you so much. I had such a great time. You were awesome. Thank you. You made my party. And you just look at them and go, what planet are you from? You're welcome. I
know, really. I've been fortunate enough. My boy's 12, and so he's played a lot of basketball, so I'll assistant coach every now and then. And there's one kid that he's played with that every single time, practice, game, doesn't make any difference, will walk up, shake my hand and say, thanks, coach. And his dad is right there, so I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I love my kid. But
has he ever done that with his dad not being right there?
He's always really respectful. That's a good question. I think so. I think it's kind of ingrained into him now. And I'll be honest with you, it kind of elicits, I give him a little bit more attention, I guess, that whole positive feedback.
And these kids don't have a parent, breathing down their neck to say thank you. I mean, they may have sent him over and say, go say thank you to your MC, go say thank you to the DJ or whatever. But at the same time, it's, sometimes you can feel it. You know, you can feel, and you know the kid, you've known the kid throughout the event. You met the kid prior to whatever, or you know, because sometimes you see kids at 2 or 3 parties, and then you end up doing their party because they hire you because they've seen
that's
you.
right, yeah.
And you think, that's a great kid. That's a great kid. That's a great kid. And I've probably said enough times, God, what a kid. What a great kid. What a great, and I will write a note to the parent and say, I just want to tell you that your son, your daughter was amazing. I do a lot of these events. I've done a lot of these events, and your child was just amazing.
Is there any way to kind of head it off of the past during the planning process? Like if you get to know a kid and you think to yourself, this kid's a little rowdy and I bet his friends are all rowdy. Is there anything you can say to the kid before the mitzvah day that would kind of maybe solve things before they happen?
I don't think so, because if a kid's a pain in the butt, they're going to be a pain in the butt. You know, if they're really controlling or they're just not into it, they're going to be that way. But one of the things that we like to say to the kids prior to is, now remember, this is going to be your day. Okay. The morning ceremony service, that's what this day is about. And the party is your reward. It's the blow off steam to have a great time. Because of the hard work you've put in the last couple of years for what you're doing that morning or that afternoon, whatever it is. And I said, so just know that everyone's going to be looking at you. Okay, you're going to be the leader of the pack that day. So if you live on the dance floor, your friends are going to live on the dance floor. If you live in the corner, your friends are going to live in the corner. So if you want this party to be a dance party, stay on the dance floor and your friends will join you. So, and just know, and then boys, obviously, I've said this before. Yeah, I always say, yeah, girls dig the guy who's in charge. So if someone's asking for something, I'm going to send them over to you. And then if you say it's cool, you're going to be the hero.
Does that go the other way? Do you ever say that to the girls?
Girls, not really, unless they don't want something. Like if a girl doesn't want to hear Taylor Swift for whatever reason, or if they don't want to hear a certain artist for whatever reason, I'll say the same thing. I said, well, what if your friends want to hear it? Oh, my friends hate it too. But I said, but what happens if someone wants to hear it? Is it okay if I send them over to you? And then you know, is that cool? And by the most part, they'll go, yeah, just send them over to me. And they change. The thing about kids is they change. When you meet them, when you see them at other events, they're different at the party. They're different at their party. And
that makes sense.
And I've said that to you. I think I've said it in an earlier podcast where I went to Miami and I did an event and the kid just completely blossomed. Where in the middle of the party, the parents came up to me and said, "Who is that child? What happened to my son?" Because he literally was slow dancing and had his hands on a girl's bottom. That's not my son. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it came out of his shell. I don't know what to tell you. You know, we had a good talk last night at dinner. I don't know. He just came out of his shell. So they're just different. They're different.
That is good stuff.
And it's not that they're different, as they can be. And it doesn't happen every time. You know what I mean? But there is a difference in a child, whether it makes them even nicer or it pulls them out of their shell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very cool. Hey, listen, Gil, I know people are going to want to reach out to you. What's the best way for them to contact you?
It's ZunigaEntertainment.com on the internet, Zuniga Entertainment on Facebook. We also have Party Podcast on Facebook, and partypodcast.com on the internet. And our number is 818-980-9099 if you want to give us a call. And if you have any suggestions or ideas, things that you might want us to talk about.
Brilliant. Well, there you go, everybody. That's the way this works. Reach out to Gil. Let us know what, suggestions or questions or whatever it is. Well, that's it for this episode of the Mitzvah Party Podcast. This is Clint on behalf of Gil. We'll see you next time.